I'm really happy to be among people who not only allow but require sort of a philosophical perspective on issues, and that they enjoy being challenged from the standard take on things. So I thought that that went really well, and it's a great pleasure to be here with 850 people who are sharp and educated, and you can see how much thought they gave to these topics in the future of the economy, future of capitalism, future of regulation, future of banking, and the future of insurance and technology. So yeah, when I spoke here, I felt that it fell on a fertile ground. I really enjoyed myself. Well, I had the honor of having two great co-panelists, one from Croatia and one from Germany, both of them working in regulatory central banks. So it was really nice to bounce these ideas back and forth. I was also quite happy that the panel was actually perfectly composed of the old Europe and the new Europe. We are no longer the troublemakers. We used to be back in the day, but this time, for the past, 15 years, we haven't done anything crazy in the financial world or in the banking world. So it's sort of nice to be on the same boat. There is equalization in this respect. Yeah, the danger of our of thinking about economics and philosophy is that we don't have a laboratory. This is why we need to see each other and meet constantly with friends and similarly minded people who will critically tell you that this is crazy, this is out of your mind. So this is one of the reasons why I come here, why I think everybody should come here, not only to open his or her mind to the tectonically changing world in which we are living. We are becoming a planetary civilization, and we are becoming a virtual civilization. We still have nations, and we still live in this material world, but the outlook is within a couple of decades, I'm quite sure we will be there. And it was really nice to bounce these ideas with colleagues who are much more in the dirt, much more on the ground, and technical. Well, I think that the traditional banking industry has a great challenge. I think we should morph ourselves into something different, into something more personal and also more digitalized. I have this vision of bank as a sort of a digital / personal family doctor butler that takes care of the boring things of life, while the individual will be able to move protected on the internet in the virtual space, and the area of banking and insurance and technology, I think, will blend nicely into the ideas that the fathers of economics, such as Joseph Schumpeter or John Stuart Mill or John Maynard Keynes, had about the stationary economy, that one day the economy will be so automatic, let's say, so strong and so affluent, so rich, that human beings will, for the first time in the history, fulfill a dream that we will not have to work for sufficiency. I think this age is already upon us. I remind a lot of my colleagues that we are no longer working, we're telling each other stories. We sit in the office all day and we tell stories, we listen to stories. A bank is nothing else but a bunch of stories. Some of them are written, some of them are signed, and the insurance company is the same thing. An internet has entities on it that also don't exist. So if you think about it, bank doesn't actually exist. It's a virtual entity. It doesn't have a chemical component. The same thing goes for insurance. The same thing also goes for money. And the things that are on the internet are also not of chemical structure. Of course, they are written on some magnetic field. Of course, there are people going to a bank and there's a building in which the bank sits, but that's not the bank. That's not the internet. So we already are now living in a virtual world, and it's important for us to tell these stories to each other and to understand the story that we are living and to be able to connect stories in a believable fashion. This is all what the modern times is about.